Accountants, bookkeepers, and CPAs have a couple of ways that they self-sabotage their better sales, going from the commoditized, cheap services up to the more outsourced accountant thing. And Darion Wiggs of Wiggs CPA and I had a conversation. This clip is really helpful. There's a couple of specific things that I hope you get out of this that you'll stop doing. And then Darion shares his perspective, which is just gold. So if you're an accountant, bookkeeper, tax professional trying to sell better services, close better deals, and get better business clients, I think this will help you out. Check it out. There's two additional challenges are, particularly when you're growing, you shop out of your own pocket too. One of the hardest things to realize is that, and I'm not going to act like I have 7 people that work with us full time. My payroll is a beast. For me, like I look at it and it humbles me like it just humbles me, right? Mm-hmm. And if you shop out of my pocketbook, it's different than shopping out of Rob's pocketbook from 9 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It's a total different thing. And so when you're first getting started in business, for you to ask for a $1,500 to $2,500 a month retainer, you're like, that's so much money. But then you're like, no, that's not. You're like a third the price of any of their people. Like you start to realize, no. So that's a challenge in itself as you're going. If any accountants are listening to this, that's a challenge. Then the other challenge is, because this is a service you're good at doing, you'll be like, well, I would just do it myself. Like there's a self-deception in there. You have to remember that the people that you're serving, not only are they busy, you're all about making this, it makes complete sense that they do it because they'd save time and money. Well, you know what else just makes sense? I don't want to do it, and I'm not that good at it. And it sucks my energy drive for me to do it. My wife shouldn't do it. I should be selling. That's where my strength is. So unless you kind of realize that, you will self-sabotage yourself as an accountant selling accounting services. You'll buy out of your own pocketbook. You'll think, they'll just do it themselves. No, bull snot. No, they won't. They're not going to do any of that. They're going to end up overpaying in taxes, calling you later to fix it, and then hammering you on price. Anyways.
And then it gets more expensive.
Legit.
And then now you got to get more comfortable with pricing there, because when I first started, I still remember my mentor, Carter. When I first started doing taxes, I charged somebody $700 for a tax return. And for me, I was like, that was the most I ever charged for a tax return. And it was somebody I knew within my circle from college, and I felt really bad. Like, that was the most I ever charged. I sent them a voice note, like, how do I get comfortable with this price? I'm like, I've never paid that, right? Now I'm at the point where it's like $700 is on the low end. If I'm not charging more than $700, I mean, I'm doing something wrong. But what I'm getting at, what got me comfortable with that is, one, knowing my value, and then two, one thing that I had to do and learn was I had to invest in myself. I've spent $10,000, $15,000 investing in education, not college, but like education or a course or mentorship. Like I've spent that money on myself. So if I'm spending $15,000 to invest in myself, it's a whole lot easier, and I'm a whole lot comfortable charging somebody else $15,000 for my services because I know I would pay that for myself. That, and then two, within our industry, it's very, I want to say easy, but if you think about it from a number perspective, we're one of very few people who can say, hey, you pay me $15,000. Not only are you going to get a tax deduction, and if you're in 30% tax bracket, your overall cost is going to go down a few $1,000s, but also you're paying me 15, and I can show you the results, so I'm going to save you 50. So now you're saving there's a $35,000 net savings there, but we're like one of the few people who can do that. So that's why when you get those reps and you start having those strategies like converting to S-Corp, learning how to set up a solo 401k or a SEF IRA or hiring kids, and you know those tax savings instantly, it's a win-win. I'm at the point where I tell clients, hey, I'm going to charge you $800 for this tax return, but I'm going to tell you how much you would have owed without me, and how much you're getting back or how much your tax bills are reducing when you're paying this $800, so you can instantly see this return of value. So once you get comfortable with that, and it took me a minute, but that's where I'm at now, it makes pricing a whole lot easier and just knowing, your worth when you speak with clients.
Yeah. And there's this thing that when you start talking with your client, you never want to be convincing them why they need to do something. Mm-hmm. But there is this part where you are the adult in the room. You're talking to an alcoholic that wants to have a functioning life. And you got to look at him and go, stop it. this is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. You don't know what you're talking about. And you don't do it that boldly, but there is this thing where, like, look, at the end of the year, you keep bringing me this accounting, and you're overpaying in taxes, yes. And guess what? I know it's baloney. I know that. I can tell right now. I see these 3 lines in your bookkeeping. It's nonsense. No. You have no idea what's going on in your business. Why? Like, it's time to stop. It's time to sober up. It's time to do this. And the more, and you don't want to be so bold. You do that wrapped in relationship. You build intimacy to get to a point where you can give a little pull. Like, come on, man. Like, if your admin staff wasn't doing this terrible accounting, and they were focused on getting paid quicker, and they were helping your customers have better experiences, I'll get the stuff done in 1 hour that takes you 3 days. Yep. It'll be done right. I don't have to fix it all. And by the way, now we can get super intentional about wealth planning, real estate planning, tax planning. We can do all sorts of stuff. Plus, you can scale your business, work on your operations, all this stuff. But that's one encouragement that I have, is that it's almost like these business owners come to you, and you don't want to accuse them, but they are like, they don't know what great looks like. Yep. They come to you to buy something, but it's like, you owe it to them to make sure that you find out where they're stuck, and then show them where they can. Find out where they want to go with their business, but be the adult to say, look, there's a gap between what you have in your business and where you want to be. And that gap right now, I can help close that significantly for $1,500 a month, $2,500 a month. You cannot grow your business until you start to have some periodization through this. You don't even know what your budgets are. You have no idea what's going on. How are you going to hit your $20 million goal if you don't even have a forecast? Stop it. But all that happens, you pump the brakes, you believe in yourself, and it's not overconvinced. You got to build this sometimes, right? I get it. You can't just, but as you build that, remember that they need you to tell them, stop, look, and that takes leadership. I always make the comments that business owners overpay in taxes because their accountant doesn't have the leadership or the capacity, because they're too busy doing individual tax returns, to help them go from here to there. And that's what you're doing. Now, leadership requires relationship. It requires a vision. It also knows what you're saving them from. Like, if you don't cast it, this is where in our writing for our websites, there's always the stakes and the benefits. When you choose me, here's the benefits you're going to experience. And by the way, here's the failure I'm going to save you from. And when you remind them of the failure you're saving from, then you're able to like really, I'm saving you from 20 years worth of overpayments and taxes. That's a $10 million IRA, whatever. We can keep going here, but
I'm going through that right now. Where one, the leadership part, I never put it that way, but that's hands down a super crucial kind of component, something that is just an ongoing process for me. And the whole thing was just kind of, when you were talking, I was thinking about the fact that we're in a unique position with our firms, just in this industry, where we don't have to work with everybody, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to tell you how I can help. I'm going to tell you the prices of my service. And at first, I was like, dang, okay. Now it's like, it's not my loss. I know what I'm bringing to the table. I have the tools, the skills, the resources, and most importantly, the time. Like, I truly believe I am what's preventing you from making that next level, in a sense where if you don't bring on a qualified tax professional to your business, on your team, you're not going to reach that next level. I don't say it like that, but I have a good understanding of it. So it makes me a lot comfortable, one, with my pricing, but also with those conversations with clients. And you're 100% right, where you got to take a step back. That first call is so important. And before I announce in the next 10 days that, hey, I'm accepting new clients, I'm redoing all my templates, all my initial call templates, everything, because that first conversation where you get to really dive deeper into the client situation, understand their processes and systems, that's super important. So I just want to add that part on that. You got to take your time with it, but you also got to be the adult in the room at the same time. And for me, being 27, started my firm at 25, most of my clients are 45 and up, 40 and up, you could say that. And I have a client now who I'm literally like, hey, the structure that you had for your vision 10 years from now isn't going to work. So we dissolving his current business that he had the last couple of years, starting a new entity, having new holding companies, adding a partner, redoing the operating agreement. I had to lead that entire process with people that's 25 to 30 years older than me and be the leader in that and really own what I'm saying. I might, that's 20, 30 years down the road, but because of what I know, my confidence, the amount of time I put into studying my craft, like it helps me lead those conversations a lot better. So for those of you a little hesitant, to be a leader in those situations, if you're always prepared, you'll never have to get ready. So make sure you, outside of just working on your business, you continuously working on personal development and just learning as much as you can about your craft, so it makes it a lot easier to lead in those rooms, because it do get intimidating for some. Like I said, I haven't had that issue necessarily because I never take on more than I could chew. But over time, and then me going into completing year 2, confidence is at an all-time high going in, mostly because I'm confident.
You did it. Yeah, you're there.